Hi, this is Maggie from Personal Euphoria, and today we're going to do some exercises for carpal tunnel. Obviously, if you have carpal tunnel or think you have carpal tunnel, you should talk to your doctor about what's right for you. But there was just a recent study out of Spain that showed that physical therapy and massage can be just as effective for carpal tunnel as surgery. So thinking of movement and certain types of massage would certainly be one thing to try before you go through surgery. But talk to your doctor, and here are just some options that might work for you. I'm going to give you a number of exercises. You pick 3 to 5 every day. You don't have to do all of these, and any that cause pain you don't do yet. So each one will give you an option to get a little bit harder as you progress and your wrist feels better. So the first one, you're just going to interlock your fingers and you're going to circle the wrists. And this is a great one because you can kind of throw it in all the time throughout the day. And it's just gentle movement of the wrists and reverse directions. So you can kind of do this as a little warm-up if it feels okay. And then the next one we're going to do, whichever wrist is the one that has the issue or is feeling the pain and the tingling down that hand, you'll reach that arm out to the side and point your fingers down as far as you can. And it should feel like a pretty good stretch. And you can add your head tilting to one side. And you can hold this stretch for about 30 seconds, 3 times each. So you'd release it after 30 seconds, then again reach the arm, drop the head, and hold for 30 seconds, which I'm not showing you here, but you could do on your own. And if you need less pressure, try not to bend the hand back as far, so you can be gentler there. You could also bend the elbow a little bit. But you're working to straight elbow and pulling those fingertips down towards the floor. Okay. Once you've gotten more comfortable with that, the next step for that is going to be to reach your arm out and pull it back and give a little extra pressure. So you use your other hand to pull your fingers back. Again, it shouldn't hurt. You should feel a stretch, but there should be no added pain to doing this. So if there's pain, ease up, go back to this version because that can change from day to day. As you get better at those, and as those start to feel easier and there's less pain, you're going to go to a wall and you're going to work on first just being able to get your arm straight and your whole palm flat on the wall. So if things are really tight at first, you might not be able to get your palm against the wall. You don't have to force it. You slowly check in and build up. And again, you can hold here for 30 seconds. It can be a stretch, or we're going to add some movement. So once this becomes comfortable, the way you're going to build on that is to rotate your fingertips down and rotate your fingertips up. And you can do that about 8 to 10 times, right? So rotate down and you're trying to get your fingers to point down and point up. And this takes a lot of range of motion. I don't have carpal tunnel and I feel a pretty intense stretch, so really don't force it. And you'll do this 8 to 10 times. Once this becomes more comfortable and you can hold it here, you'll add tilting your head to the side, coming back up, fingertips up. Fingertips down, head to the side, fingertips head up, fingertips up. Fingertips down, head, fingertips. Okay, so continuing with our carpal tunnel exercises, for the next few you're going to need some toys or some props and a flat surface that you can use. If you have a light weight, you can use that. I grabbed a small can of food, and then you're going to need some rubber bands depending on the tension. A couple, maybe one. So the first thing you're going to do lying your hand flat on a surface is going to be to curl just the tops of your fingers in, and you're going to do that about 5 times, 5 to 10. Right? So you don't want to work to the point of exhaustion, and if 5 feels like it's not getting you anything, then you build up. Then you're going to fold in all your fingers 5 to 10 times. 3, 2, 1, and then you're going to make a whole fist and straighten. Fist and straighten, and again 5 to 10 times. So after that, what you can do with the rubber band, and this is not perfect because you've got to find a rubber band that creates some tension, but again, you don't want to have to force it. You want to be able to open the band all the way, but it also has a tendency to kind of run down your hands, so play with it. If it annoys you, skip this one. But you're going to wrap the rubber band around all 5 fingers, and you're going to open and close. Open and close. And sometimes I find I'm using 3 rubber bands that if I kind of roll them around and intertwine them on one finger somehow, that I can get them to stay on better. Open and close. And again, 5 to 10 times. And one thing you'll notice through all of these is that as I open and close my hand, I'm not letting my wrist move. So my wrist stays stable as I move my fingers. That was the same on the last one, but because I was on the table, it was really easy to keep that neutral wrist. Here it's a little harder, but you still want to not let the wrist move. Okay. Next, we're going to take your 1 or 2 pound weight or your can of food, and you're going to hang your hand off the end of a table, and you're going to let it bend back and curl up. And again, you don't have to take this to a point of strain. If it bothers you, you don't do it. And we're using something light. This shouldn't feel like you're lifting 50 pounds. And you do 8 to 10 on this side. Then you rotate your wrist and you drop it off the end and bring it up. And your goal is to come up to a neutral wrist. So you don't need to bend up all the way. Let it hang and bring it up. 8 to 10 times there. Then you'll rotate down and the same thing here. So you're really strengthening your wrist. Right? 8 to 10 times there. So those are the ones with their toys. We have a few more that are good to throw in if you're at work or you have a busy day and you can't fit in, you can't get against the wall, you don't have anything with you. Some simple ones to throw in are a prayer pose. So you bring your hands together, keeping the bottoms of the palms down, and you just lower your hands as far as you can to feel a stretch, and you can hold for up to 30 seconds. You could also relax your arms at your sides and slide your shoulders up and down and do a few of those throughout the workday. You could also gently just tilt your head to one side and hold. So if it was my left arm that was bothering me, I'd want to tilt my head away from that arm. So you can play with all of those. I hope you feel better. I hope that brings you some improvement. Again, talk to your doctor, but as always, keep moving.